Hey guys, Matt from the Weekend Handyman here, filming the third part to the Giant Rain series. I got back from the bike shop, who I had put the chain on, and replaced the rear shock bushing because I couldn't figure out what size to put in there. I took it out for a ride today, and pleased to say it rides quite well. Had some kinks to work out today, but nothing major. So take a quick look here. I got the chain guide on. It's the MRP AMG, which stands for All Mountain. Didn't have any drop chains, which I don't think you can have a drop chain with that, so that's good. Didn't mind not having a roller there. Didn't really have as much chain slap as I anticipated, but still have enough to warrant putting a tube on here. And as you can see, the previous owner had quite a bit there too, so definitely needs a tube thrown on there. On top, I got the stem and bars mounted up. I'm more of a down-oriented rider, so is my bike obviously, so that's what this setup is for. The short stem was a welcome upgrade. Lets me get that front end up a little bit easier over things and stuff, especially because I'm a smaller guy. So this is my first full suspension bike, so it was a bit of a different experience. There's really not any pedal bob with this bike, which I was pretty surprised, even though everybody says the Maestro suspension doesn't have much pedal bob. I still wasn't expecting there to not be any, and there really wasn't, which was pretty nice, especially when you're in the saddle. It's really responsive. So going up the hills, the bike really responds well to your power, and you don't feel like you're losing any in the suspension. Suspension-wise, though, I did have the rebound set all the way on the plus side, and I couldn't figure out why the shock was bouncing around. I actually thought it was blown, so I kept turning the rebound down, and it was still bouncy, but it was turned so far up that the bike was just bouncing all over the place. So I turned it all the way down and worked from there and got it dialed in pretty good. Front fork I'm still playing with. Not sure how I feel about it. I haven't ever rode a coil fork. I've always rode an air fork, so it's a little bit different feeling. It tends to feel a little bit plusher, but I don't know. So, and then my only issue that I really had today that was getting on my nerves is the brakes. The rear brake grabs quite well, almost too well, but the front brake, even though it's a larger rotor, it's a 200 mil rotor versus 180 in the rear, it just feels like it's underpowered. I think it might be the pads, because they were making a ton of noise on my first test ride of the bike up the street a few days ago, and I sent sanding them down and they stopped making noise, but it just feels like they're not grabbing very well. So we're looking to getting a better set of pads for the front, new pads. Other than that, I'm pretty pleased with the bike. I could see myself wanting a bit more front suspension for the bigger mountains, especially to balance it out. It's kind of weirds me out having 6 inches of front travel and almost a 7 in the rear. But maybe I'd go with like 170 or 180 mil fork. I wouldn't go any bigger than that. Other than that, really nothing to report. Definitely want to get that dropper post in there soon, though. Really could use it, especially, I mean, this is how I have the seat when I'm going the downhill, so it's low. Typically the seat's quite high on it, and doesn't really lend itself to going down, which is what I like to do. So other than that, it feels real good. And then where to go next is definitely go with the dropper post and the new brake pads. But after that, probably won't touch much else on it for a while. Probably most of the season. If I decide to keep it after the season, I'm definitely looking at a suspension upgrade up to thinking of RockShox, something up front. The 180 travel would be nice, and then maybe a RockShox rear to match. Not sure which yet, but and probably try to get some lighter cranks on there. I think those cranks, they're fine. The bottom bracket is actually fine. It's real smooth and everything. There's no play or anything, and the cranks aren't bent, but they're really heavy crank set. So getting some lighter cranks on there would definitely be nice for next year. But for this year, this is pretty much the way it's probably going to stay, other than a dropper post. But might change out the tires too. They're almost too aggressive for me. So anyways, thanks for you guys for watching. Hope you have a good day.